Welcome back, and now to our second story. At least 13 people were killed Saturday in renewed conflict in Bria, 450 kilometers northeast of Bangui, the Central African Republic CAR. The killings are the latest in new clashes between armed groups ex-Séléka and anti-balaka, who had already clashed in the past week. The United Nations mission Minusca, present in Bria, has given no report on the death toll. But on Saturday, it said its peacekeepers were on the job to contain the new violence between the presumed anti-balaka and the Arab faction of the FPRC. 6 aid groups had also written to the United Nations describing the former French colony as on the brink of a catastrophe.
The
Central African Republic is experiencing violence from factions of the ex-Séléka, claiming to defend the Muslim minority, and anti-balaka self-defense group, mostly Christians. Armed groups are also fighting for control over natural causes. This deterioration in the security climate in the Central African Republic since the beginning of the year has made the need of the population more volatile. Over the last 3 months, clashes between the... To discuss more on this issue, we have online Joseph Ngaji, the Bureau Chief of the for the Coordination of Human Rights Affairs in Central African Republic. How bad is the situation?
The situation in Central African Republic continues to worsen on a daily basis. It is important to note that the number of internally displaced persons keep rising based on the fact that the activities of armed groups in the interior of the country is on the increase. As of today, we do have 600,000 people who have been displaced in Central African Republic. At the beginning of the year, January, we had close to 404,000 people displaced. If you compare the two figures between January and today, this shows 49% increment in the number of displacements. As displacement is increasing, the humanitarian funding is at its lowest. Today, and based on the new needs, the humanitarian community reviewed its humanitarian response plan for the country, which stood at 399.5 million in January to 497.3 million today. And our projection is that this will continue to go downhill unless there is, a major happening to stop these trends.
In view of the situation, what is the priority?
We continue to do our utmost best to provide humanitarian assistance, but this is not the priority of the people. The priority number one for the people of Central African Republic is security, it's protection, for the women to go to the rivers to come back without being raped, for the children to be able to go to school to be responsible future leaders, for the youth to get employment so that they can construct their country. But you see, all these are not happening. Humanitarian actors who are here to save the lives and alleviate the suffering of the people of Central African Republic are not even spared. So far this year, between January and July, we have had 11 incidents where humanitarians have lost life, and also about 125 incidents that have affected humanitarian community. This clearly demonstrates that Central African Republic is one of the most dangerous spots on earth for humanitarians to work in.
We often speak of forgotten crisis in Central African Republic. Must we expect the worst if nothing is done soon?
My message to the whole world is that please do not forget Central African Republic. The people of Central African Republic want to live like any other person in any other part of the world. And if we take children to school today, we will stop them from being recruited by armed groups. And that is why it is important that the message for the international community to not forget Central African Republic, because if we do forget Central African Republic today, we will be forced to come in future in great numbers and with a lot of resources. But it is also important to note that Central African Republic poses an opportunity, and if there is funding in terms of humanitarian assistance and also development action to address the root causes of conflict in this country, Central African Republic will be a role model in future.